I've worked with string instruments and bows for over a decade. And I can say with full confidence, 0% of the hundreds of musicians that have visited our workshop or that we met during our travels know that these two things that I will share with you in this video will help your instrument sound 10 times better. Right before we go with these two things, I have something very important to share with you. My YouTube channel of Melisma Violin is rebranding. From now on, my channel will be dedicated to all things string instruments and bows, with expert insight from the perspective of a violinist that lives and breathes this craft for over 10 years. I'll be diving deep about setup, maker history, whole world, how the instrument market works, and even spotlighting legendary makers like Stradivari, Amati, Guarneri, some of the genius bow makers like François Javier Tour. So if you love your instrument and you want to get to know much more about it, hit that subscribe button because we're just starting. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. Almost every musician knows that the instrument setup includes bridge and sound posts. But if you don't know what a setup is, stay tuned because my next video will be exactly about that, and I'm going to explain to you guys what is a setup, why it matters, and how it can drastically affect your instrument for better or for worse. Now, if you do know what a setup is and how it usually involves bridge and sound posts, I think this video may surprise you because in this video I'm going to show you two key aspects of an instrument setup that don't involve bridge or sound posts, yet they can completely transform your sound. Number one, fingerboard grooves. This one is so overlooked, yet it has a huge impact on your instrument sound, intonation, and comfort. So what is that? Over time, as you practice and perform, your fingers and the strings apply constant pressure on the fingerboard, especially under A and E strings in the violin case, but this happens with all the string instruments. Slowly but surely, that pressure begins to dig shallow trenches inside your fingerboard. Even though the fingerboard is made out of ebony, that's a very strong wood, this does happen over time. These are known as fingerboard grooves, and they're very, very common, even in the most high-end instruments. Now, why does this matter? At first glance, it might seem like a minor cosmetic detail, but those tiny grooves actually absorb vibration and disrupt the energy flow from the string down to the body of the instrument. That vibration is pretty much what makes your instrument sound and what makes the sound go alive. If something in your instrument stops vibration, it directly affects your sound. So when that gets interrupted, your tone becomes duller, less resonant, and sometimes even inconsistent because the grooves aren't always even. Sometimes they're bigger, thicker, smaller, more deeper, depending on each string and the strength you employ with each finger. And another problem, intonation. You're no longer pressing your finger into a smooth, even surface. You're pressing into a dip. That means that the string sits way lower than it should. And that can affect directly your pitch accuracy. And it can also throw off your muscle memory. And last but not least, it affects obviously the comfort. If you ever feel that you're playing, but the fingers are kind of sticky, you can't really move them as well. And even if you change strings or you clean your instrument regularly, you still have that feeling. And that's probably because of the fingerboard grooves. But the good news is that it has a simple fix. And right before I talk to you about how to fix it, I have a very, very exciting announcement to make. Two important announcements in one video. That's amazing. And it's something I have been working on for a long time. Starting now, May 2025, I'm offering one-to-one consultation services as a string instruments and bow specialist. If you're a musician looking to buy an instrument like violin, viola, cello, or double bass, or even a bow, but you feel lost, overwhelmed, or unsure about what to do and where to start, I can help you with that. Most musicians have these questions. Where do I look for a good instrument? How much should I pay for it? Is it worth buying online or should I go to the shop in person? Should I go to a shop or an auction or a dealer or a maker? How do I know if it's really worth the money? How do I know that the sound, feel, and quality are really what I need? And this is where I step in. After more than 10 years being immersed in the world of luthiers, restoration, instruments, and bows, and approaching everything from the point of view of a violinist and teacher, I've helped hundreds of musicians, from beginners to professionals, to find instruments and bows that truly matches their needs, budget, and artistic vision. During the consultation, I will guide you through the entire process. We'll talk about what is the kind of sound that you're looking for, what's realistic on your budget, what brands or makers I can recommend you, and which red flags to avoid. We can also compare together offers, learn about how the instrument market works, and how to spot value beyond the price tag. Whether you're shopping for your first full-size instrument or looking for a professional upgrade or just want someone to help you make a smarter decision, send me an email today. My email is linked in the description. Grab your spot today and work one-on-one with me. Let's continue. How to fix that fingerboard grooves. A trained luthier can easily fix this. Planing the fingerboard, removing just enough material without compromising the thickness of the ebony. Sometimes fingerboards are just too thin because of the maintenance that has been done in the past. So in that case, it does need to be replaced, and it's a bit more complicated, but it's still something that can be easily done and doesn't compromise the structural part of the instrument. Don't ignore your fingerboard. Next time you're with your luthier, remind him or her to check the fingerboard out, and I know you will feel the difference. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and share it with your musician friends. In this way, I can reach a lot more people and you support my work, and it's completely free. The second thing that in a setup will help your instrument sound much better is the cleaning. Sounds so basic, right? But let me explain to you why this is so important. Cleaning is much more than just wiping down your varnish. Most musicians focus on external cleaning, and some do it well, carefully wiping down their instruments. Others, not so much. So first of all, please clean your instrument every single day. And if you're unsure how or when you should clean your instrument, I have a free PDF guide that you can download in the link in bio. But the key aspect of this is not only the exterior cleaning that most of us do, it's the interior cleaning. You would be amazed how dirty an instrument can look inside. Dust, rosin particles, hair, pet hair, debris, all kind of things. And what happens is that this clogs up the pores of the wood. So if you remember that I said before that everything that stops vibration on an instrument is a huge deal for sound, exactly the same applies for the cleaning. Rosin and dust covers the small pores that the wood has. And if you don't know, woods have pores that are constantly absorbing humidity and also dust and rosin. Just like a tree, when it's outside, it absorbs the rain. The same happens to the wood in an instrument. I like to call it that in some way, the wood is still alive. So when you don't clean your instrument properly every day, the wood pores get clogged up. And unfortunately, we can't do pretty much nothing to clean the inside of an instrument. And please don't try it at home, because when you're cleaning inside an instrument, the sound post moves. Even if it's just 1 millimeter, that affects the sound also. The sound post position is so important. And I will talk more about that in the setup video for next week. But for now, don't try to clean the inside of your instrument by yourself. What you need to do is to make sure that the luthier that's going to do the setup of your instrument will do this with special tools, and then move the sound post to align correctly with the position of the bridge. So if you have done an instrument setup before, but you haven't done these two things, try it in the next setup you do. And you're going to realize how big the difference is. And if you have recently done a setup but you didn't do these two things, go back to the luthier, tell them to fix the fingerboard and to clean inside the instrument without changing the bridge or sound post, and you will notice the difference in the sound. So that was it. I hoped you learned a lot in this video. I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you subscribe to the channel so you won't miss everything new that's coming to Melisma Violin. I would love to read your thoughts in the comments, and I will be answering all of them. So please write me something in the comments. See you in the next video. Bye.